This podcast is brought to you in part by PNP Games, your online source for everything video games. Visit their website at pnpgames.com or at one of their 3 retail locations in Winnipeg, Manitoba. All right, everybody, and welcome to the DeREZD podcast. This is episode number 11. As always, I'm your host, Lloyd Hannison, and joining me, Will Kelly. Will, how the hell are you, man?
Lloyd, I'm doing awesome. It was a good week. Glad it's over, and I'm excited to talk some video games. How about yourself?
I'm about the same. It's it's been a really good week as well. Got some new stuff to play. Just gonna, there we go. Got that one. That's nice. The video's lagging behind for Will, so he hasn't seen what it is yet. There it is.
I know you're gonna. This is rude. This is rude. Oh, look at that Mario Golf.
Yeah, it's fun. I played just a couple things with that. So
I was about to say that sheen on there. I didn't know if the cellophane was still on it.
No, I cracked it. I got a powerful light, making me look like I'm a pasty ghost because I got to redo my lighting now.
That's okay. You live in the cold north, so that's all right.
I do. My tan has disappeared, as it does every winter, and then I go outside and
like it burns.
Yeah, exactly. It's it's all sorts of fun. Also got some cool little tchotchkes, some toys. Got some of the Simpsons minifigs. So
that's what I was jealous of that.
Yeah, it's been good. It's been a lot of fun, a lot of good stuff. Relaxing as best I can. It's been a good time, Will.
Good. While getting some gaming in, right?
Yeah.
Just here and there.
Actually, been playing a fair bit of games. That's been the really interesting and surprising thing, because usually my gaming time as of late has been down really far, but thankfully not this week.
Cool.
You know what we forgot to do?
Yes, I do.
How about I do it now?
Please.
In this episode of the DeREZD podcast, we're going to be talking about Disney Infinity 2. We're going to be talking about Kevin Spacey. We're going to be talking about Amazing Spider-Man 2 and more.
Perfect.
It doesn't make sense to do it while we've already started the show.
No, now it's just like it's not really a lead-in, but it still gives everyone the time to get excited about, oh man, this is all the cool things I have to listen to this episode.
That's true. Also, going to be talking about a lot of games. Going to be talking about Child of Light. Going to be talking about Amazing Spider-Man 2. Going to talk a little bit about Mario Golf. So there's lots of stuff on the bill for tonight. And there's also some chat. I put the chat up because we forgot to do that earlier. So we have the chat room. Hi, chat room. So that's there as well. So thanks everybody for tuning in for yet another DeREZD podcast. We love hearing from you guys. We would love for you to let us know what you think of the show. You can do that in many ways. The first is to call our voicemail line, which is area code 505 VG Podcasts. You can email us directly at vgpodcast@gmail.com, or catch us on Twitter. I'm at Dasme on Twitter, DASME. And Will, who are you?
I am at Iliam, ILIAM.
That is right. So we love chatting with you guys. We love doing the show, and your feedback is something awesome. Makes us want to keep doing what we are doing. But yeah, I think that's about it for the intro. So Will, you were saying you've been really busy. Haven't gotten much gaming in. Is there anything that you're looking forward to digging into this weekend?
Yeah, I can't wait to, after the show, I'm actually going to download Child of Light. I played the demo last night and really enjoyed it. I was kind of keeping my ear close to the ground this week to really get feel the reception of that game, and I think for the most part it's been pretty positive. I know you played a little bit, so
yeah, I have. We chatted a little bit on Tuesday or whatever, or on Monday, when the first reviews came out, and I think the first review was a Polygon review, and it was like 6.5. And I was like, oh, okay. I expected like better scores just because of how it looked and some of the early critical comments that were put out there for like previews and stuff. Then Polygon's review came out and I'm just like, ooh, okay, maybe I should hold on. And then the demo was released on Tuesday. I downloaded the demo, started playing it, and it's like, oh yeah, no, this is good. I like this. This is my thing. And then reviews from other places started hitting, and they were getting 8s and 8.5s and 7s and 7.5s. So the first review was maybe a little bit of an outlier compared to some of the other reviews that I've read. So I picked up the full version, and a couple hours in, and really digging it.
I know we're going to talk more about it later, but how long is that game? Do you know?
I've heard online people saying it's about between 14 and 20 hours, depending on.
Oh, it's that long, really?
Yeah, for $15, it's a pretty good price. Wow. And I believe since I bought it on PlayStation, I think I got like the PlayStation Plus 20% off or whatever. So I think it was like $12.50. Or did this game have that? I can't remember.
Yeah. It did.
It did, yeah. So, it's pretty damn good for what it is. So, I'm quite enjoying it. So, hopefully, I can get more into that this weekend, and I don't know, play me some more Child of Light. It's been a lot of fun.
Nice. I can't wait.
Cool. Well, let's jump into the meat of the show. We don't need to prolong the inevitable, and that inevitable is
end of line.
We're gonna get into the end of line, which is our biggest news story of the week. This week was a surprise leak of some footage for the new Call of Duty game, and after the leak came out, basically Activision came right out and said, okay, yeah, no, this is real. They put out the official trailer themselves, and stuff. Prometheus in the chat room saying there was no PlayStation Plus discount on Child of Light in the US. So
gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know. I just clicked buy and take my money, threw my money at the screen, and that was about it.
Take my money.
But yeah, Kevin Spacey is kind of the main bad guy in the new Call of Duty, which is called Call of Duty Future Warfare. Is that what it's called?
Advanced Warfare.
Advanced. That's right. They registered a whole bunch of domains last year. They had Advanced. They had Future. They had there was a couple other ones. Basically, because Modern Warfare, when Infinity Ward was making it, they basically signed a contract saying that Activision, the only people that could make Modern Warfare games were them. And then, of course, there was that whole lawsuit and splintering off and all that stuff. You can read more about that if you check out the Final Hours of Titanfall on the App Store or the Android Marketplace. So I knew it wasn't going to be called Modern Warfare 3 or whatever it was, Modern Warfare Next. But yeah, they named it something it's so bad that I can't remember it when I'm not like reading it. Like it's such a terrible name.
The funny part is the reason I did remember it is because I watched or I read all these comments this article day. It was like how the internet responded to the next Call of Duty, and there's all these Call of Duty Game Boy Advance memes that people were making. And so I remembered that, and I was like,
That's right.
Advanced Warfare.
That's the easiest way to think about my Game Boy Advance. That's totally perfect. Perfect way to think about it. So, go ahead.
Yeah, so it was weird. So, like, I guess the original announcement was supposed to be May 4th, which is an odd day. I don't know why you would do that on Star Wars Day, but hey,
why would you waste your time? Because everybody online is going to be talking about Star Wars on May the 4th.
Right.
Be with you.
So yeah, with the leak, they're like, we might as well just throw it out there, and so that's what we woke up to. And they teased on Instagram, I think yesterday, which is the trailer leaked last night, and then they came out and actually released the trailer today. So they teased the Kevin Spacey thing last night on their Instagram, I believe it was.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's kind of weird watching the trailer and you have like a fully realized Kevin Spacey chatting, and it's like we were chatting in the pre-show. It's like watching a trailer for House of Cards, which is really kind of bizarre, but it totally makes sense when you think of it that way.
Right.
So this game, it's set in the distant, or not too distant future. So there's still soldiers But it looks like the soldiers that are in the game are members of PMCs, private military corporations. And in this, the trailer that they showed, you have them in body armor. You have them with like visors. At one point, you see a guy scaling a building with these nano sticky glove looking things, like something out of Mission Impossible 2. There's hover bikes, there's all these other crazy things. So it doesn't look like it's like you're not jumping into space and having space battles. It's not Call of Duty moon fight battle warfare. But it looks cool enough where I haven't been interested in the last couple of Call of Duty games just because it seemed like it was a rote formula and everything was just kind of by the books. This looks like it might be different enough to get me in. Although every other Call of Duty, there'll be something really cool and you get to put your hands on that really cool thing for about a minute and then you never touch it again throughout the rest of the campaign or multiplayer. So I wonder how many of these tools will actually be usable throughout the game and into multiplayer.
Yeah, I don't know. But I'm like you. Even though this is the first Call of Duty that I've been interested in 5 years, since the original Black Ops, I attribute most of that to the fact that it has Kevin Spacey in it, and the fact that it looks like they have a new graphics engine finally. The fidelity of the graphics look a lot better, assuming some of what we saw was in-game footage. But honestly, I expect the multiplayer to still be Call of Duty, and that doesn't interest me anymore. So I'll probably pick this one up for the single player story. Just having House of Cards, Kevin Spacey in it.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. It looked interesting. It looked exciting, but I tend to look at these trailers and really sort of not try not to get overhyped because there's always these crazy sequences, and you know that when the game actually comes out, they're just going to be these canned little things where a building will blow up, but you have no interaction for it. I really hope that this is different. At the start of the trailer, this says this is all running on an Xbox One system. Like the text comes up, and it's like, okay, so you're just Microsoft's paying you more money or cutting the exclusivity check early for you for your DLC exclusivity that Microsoft always gets, just to say, hey, look at us, we can do 1080p games too. Although they didn't say any of the specs on what the actual resolution of this game is.
No, but at the very least in that respect, I think this might be because the rumor is also that the DLC is going to be early exclusives for the Xbox, and that's just kind of like I don't really think that's a huge deal for a lot of players, but I do think it was a good thing. It was a smart move in this situation where, because the whole Rezogate has been such a big deal and it's been such a topic of conversation, seeing this really pretty looking game, and we don't know how much of it. Yes, it was running on the in-game engine, but it did not necessarily. I didn't see many sequences, if any, that were actually like player sequences. A lot of it still looked like it was scripted like cinematics.
Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of set pieces type stuff in there. I put the trailer on screen if you guys are following on the video or watching on the live stream. And I mean, it looks pretty. It looks really, really nice. Like the grass, the trees, all of the sort of other elements look really nice. Even the animation and the and kind of the character models look really good too. But I still remember like games for the PS3 shown off early at E3, and it's just like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. And then the game actually ships, and it's like, okay, well, obviously Killzone, they had some video trickery when they showed you the all in-game trailer, which really the final version didn't end up looking anything like that.
That's going way back, but even the animation did not look real time
for Killzone.
Yeah,
the weird thing was like the jaws came down about 6 inches when the guys were talking, and some parts of it was just like, what is that? That looks so weird.
Yeah. But this is a good thing, I think. I mean, Kevin Spacey, he's huge right now, and the amount of respect he's gained just from, I mean, if you weren't a Kevin Spacey fan, I didn't dislike the guy, but I wasn't hugely into him until I started watching House of Cards, and now he's become one of my favorite actors. And so to have him in this game, again, it pushes the medium forward, and I think it's really good for us as gamers.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. Having someone like here's back on the screen, that's his character model. I mean, that looks like Kevin Spacey. So you're going to have trailers coming out, commercials, all these sorts of things showing in movie theaters, showing on television, and people that maybe aren't gamers are going to see Kevin Spacey on the screen, and they're like, oh, well, I want to control Kevin Spacey. I want a virtual Kevin Spacey, even though there's nothing that says that you're going to be able to control him. That might be enough to pique some people's interest. So, I mean, that's really good for the franchise.
Well, it's good too that it's his virtual self. It's not just him doing a voiceover. Gary Oldman did one of the older Call of Duty games, but it was just a voiceover, not a character likeness. So
yeah, exactly.
But it did remind me, actually, when I watched this the very first time, it reminded me of a conversation you and I had with Infamous, because we're still in that uncanny valley, and like it looks really good, but you're just like, doesn't quite get there. I mean, I dig it, and I'm glad it's there, but yeah, it's like probably could be better.
It's close, but not quite. Everybody looks like they're smothered in Vaseline. Their skin is still too shiny. It's that shiny CG thing that movies had going for quite some time. Even some of the movies coming out now.
Right.
Well. So yeah, that's Call of Duty on the next gen. They didn't say exactly all the consoles are going to be on, but you can assume it's going to be on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, maybe in the Wii U, but probably not. And it looks like it could be something awesome. Makes me wonder if this game is going to be on any of the last gen as well.
Yeah, so it says in the article that we linked, Sledgehammer Games will primarily focus on current systems, such as the 4, 1, and modern PC, but primarily focus doesn't mean exclusive.
Yeah, and they could have other teams that are doing the down ports for the older systems, last-gen systems.
Well, and I think this is the first time Sledgehammer has developed a Call of Duty, so that alone kind of makes me excited, because at least they're... Yeah, I'm sure it's going to follow much of the same Call of Duty formula, but it's exciting to see someone else kind of having the reins, since we're so familiar with Infinity Ward and Treyarch.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. I'm sure we're going to get some more news on this at E3. There's probably going to be multiple press events that are going to end with some form of Call of Duty trailer / gameplay / people walking around in crazy mech suits. Yeah.
So I gotta quote the perfect tweet that will kind of like end this conversation, and it will drop the mic. So
okay.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah, sure. Drop the mic.
All right. So it said the last Call of Duty, they brought you to space. In this Call of Duty, they're bringing Spacey to you.
Yeah, I saw that one as well.
Perfect.
That is kind of perfect, actually. Just punny enough for me to really enjoy it.
You do like the puns.
I do. So do my kids. So I'm the funniest man to my kids, just because awesome. I'm all about the puns. So it's all good.
Speak in puns?
Many times a day, yes. And
I couldn't figure out a pun to bring that together, but that would have been perfect.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome. Well, let's move on past our end of line, which ironically is our start of line on every show, and let's get into the rest of the news. This week on the 30th, PlayStation Update version 1.7 finally hit. I downloaded it early in the morning on the 30th. Along with that update, there was an update for your PlayStation Vita. There was also an update for the official PlayStation app on mobile devices. So there was one on iOS the day prior, was on the 29th. And then I believe it came out for Android on the 30th as well. That update enough is really cool. On the iPhone app, you can now set your your PlayStation account snapshot to any picture that you want. Previously on PlayStation Network, you could only choose from sort of the canned ones they had in a list. Games could give you other ones. Barely any games ever did that. So you see everybody walking around with Ratchet and Clank like I had, or people from like Drake's Fortune, Nathan Drake, or some of the other enemies or whatever would be there. So that's kind of a nice little feature, and some other niceties as well.
I've heard that feature is only available though for friends. Is that true?
That is correct.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the real name thing where you have to be friends, and they'll see that only if they're your friend in your friends list.
So I did like some Twilight Zone stuff. I took my Xbox One gamer tag pick and I made it my PlayStation 1. And that's not because I'm that much of a fanboy. It's just that it's this really cool like art of a fighter pilot. And with my PSN ID being Maverick, it just kind of fit. And I was like, oh, this is cool.
Makes sense. Yeah. No, it's pretty awesome. So that was nice. The updates to the iOS app and the Android app are good enough even, but despite everything else that was in the update. The other big thing is now it has a native iPad support, which is good for me, because I always wanted to watch it on my iPad or open it on my iPad, and it was basically just an iPhone app that was double sized. Okay, so aside from all the ancillary apps and updates for other systems, 1.7 was huge. So when you first download it, it took just a little bit of time to install. It was actually really quick, and I put an icon for the new feature that Sony's touting, which is Share Factory. Puts it right on your home screen. You click it. It says, well, you have to download it. You go download it. It's like 892 megabytes or something. So it's almost a gig of stuff. And I played around with it a little tiny bit, and yeah, it's a video editor. I saw some interesting videos that people have been putting online. There's a lot of people on Reddit. The PS4 share Reddit or subreddit has a lot of people posting their videos and stuff. Kind of a neat little thing. I don't think it's going to be too exciting for me. I don't know. How would you, Will? Any sort of feelings one way or the other?
Well, I really like it, but I like the editing feature on the Xbox One. So I'm glad the PlayStation has something like it. It's fun to do, and it's a quick way to make some content. But Lloyd, you and I, we're kind of we are computer guys, and we do multimedia stuff on our computers. So the features themselves aren't necessarily that robust. But if you take a step back and kind of think about it, it's like, okay, I can actually like edit a video from start to finish, and it's a full feature nonlinear editor on a console. I mean, that's a pretty big deal, and it's one of those things that it's obvious now because that's next gen, and it's just like, well, why wouldn't you be able to do that?
Sure.
But it would be unthinkable for something on the 360 or the PS3 generation. So yeah, I'm excited. I saw a lot of the videos that some people have made on the subreddit as well, and they're entertaining. I mean, I'm sure we're going to get tired of seeing a lot of the stock transitions and stuff like that, but it's I don't know. It's empowering people to create content, which is kind of a fun thing. It's what the internet was made for these days.
Exactly. Yeah, it kind of is what it is. It's nothing super awesome for me, but I know there's a lot of people that are crazy excited about it. I saw this one guy who's putting up his own YouTube channel of how-tos in Battlefield 4, like how to do this crazy kill, how to take this base, how to blah blah blah, and basically they're just using this one tool to do all that stuff. Good for people that don't have a way to edit this stuff on the PC. It's just gonna enable a whole bunch more content to be put out there, which is a really good thing. Other things that were in this update is the automatic pre-downloads. So if you pre-order a game, the first one I believe that's going to support this is Watch Dogs. The developer can choose to allow you to pre-load it, which means that a few days before the game comes out, you can download it, have it sitting there on your PlayStation 4. As soon as the game gets unlocked, boom, you're in, you're playing. You don't have to wait for stuff to download on release day, which is really nice.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that one.
That's going to be huge. Totally huge.
It worries me that it's not a universal thing that developers can decide whether or not they want to do that.
Yeah. I don't see why anybody would ever want you to not do that. So I think it's one of those things where it's an option, but it's the option that everybody's going to default to doing it, right?
Right. Well, I mean, brick and mortar, they have pre-order bonus exclusives. So, you know what, if people want some of those digital content or early beta access, then they can decide to do that. Otherwise, you know, the benefit you get of pre-downloading is not having any of those things or having to purchase it later, but the ability and the convenience of flipping it on the second it goes live and start playing. Because even if you bought it from a store, now you have to bring it home and download it, or install it.
Exactly. I'm trying to look for something here. Oh yeah, there it is. And kind of along the same lines, at the same time, the first discount for a pre-release pre-order came out, and if you are a PlayStation Plus member, you can pre-order Wolfenstein the New Order for $53.99 instead of $59.99. So I mean, $6, not a huge deal, 10% off. But that's kind of like the first shot across the bow that maybe be taking off some paint as it's flying across the bow of the GameStops and other ones like that, which is pretty damn cool.
That's awesome too. And you know, it's also something that's not rare for PC games to do that now. There's constantly pre-release sales, but it's a really big deal for consoles to do that. And the thing I love about Sony, and it just kind of goes to show the place that Sony's at compared to Microsoft, is that Sony, like, they didn't need to make an announcement. They didn't need to make some big deal about that. There was a tweet this week about Xbox One still planning to do preloading, and that's in a response to this update. But then I read some threads on the Xbox subreddit, and they were talking about, so we're probably going to see an announcement about preloading games and Xbox games with gold getting better at E3. And it's just funny because it's still, for Microsoft, they're reactionary, and Sony is in such a good place. It's like, well, they can just throw these random features out there and not necessarily have to tout them that much, even though they're huge deals, and it makes them look really good.
Yeah, exactly. Larry Herb's update or response to it was not such a. It wasn't a yes. It was a yes with an asterisk. It was, all I could say right now is that yes, we want this feature as well. So I mean, they're being very reactionary, but they're still not giving out the details. Hopefully there's a lot of work to clean up sort of the PR inside of Microsoft, because they're still a little bit sloppy when it comes to that type of stuff. What else? The option to disable HDCP, which is the digital protection, copy protection on HDMI. I turned mine off, not for any other reason than I just wanted to see what would happen. When you turn it off, it says you have to restart your console. You hit yes, and then it just restarts, and you're back at the main menu. And I've seen some other people that are trying to use apps like Netflix or the WWE app. And if you try to check it, or try to start it rather, and you don't have HDCP enabled or checked off in your menu, it says, sorry, you need HDCP to be enabled to use this app. And then you have to go to the menu, you have to check it off, and then it has to restart and go back. So it's not as slick as it could be. There could just be apps that need it, use it, apps that don't. If you have it turned off, it's off.
Yeah, I wonder why that is, because Xbox doesn't have this problem. So I wonder what is the reason, if it's like this kind of like baked, like this firmware deal with the PlayStation or something. If you have an HDCP enabled stream,
you can't just break that stream. Otherwise, the TV will shut off and put up an error message, or it will go blank. So I think this is the only way that they can do it, is they actually have to restart to reconnect the connection to your television, so that it will actually display something. I don't know how Microsoft does it, to be honest with you. The reason why
it could just be not protected, I guess. But I kind of find that hard to believe.
Yeah, I definitely find that hard to believe, but I mean, who knows? Yeah, like it makes sense they don't want these streaming videos to be going out unprotected, because they don't want to make it easy for people to kind of rip all the movies and things like that. But at the same time, you can, for $20, buy an HDCP stripper, put it between your device and your TV, and there's no HDCP. It's stripped off the video signal. So, yeah, I don't know. They might be fighting a losing battle with that. Hopefully, that'll be a little bit slicker as time goes on. They've added the ability to basically change and set up the way that you share. So, when the PlayStation 4 first came out, you'd hit the share button. You could either choose to take a screenshot, start a video clip, upload that video clip, or broadcast online. They've changed it so that you can set the defaults for that button. So you hit the share button, and if you hit it, you can change it to a screenshot mode. So whenever you just tap the button, it makes a screenshot and saves it on your hard drive, to make it easier for people to take screenshots instead of waiting for the menu to come up, which takes a second or a split second, which then means that whatever you're trying to capture is most likely gone. So that's kind of nice. They also have another mode where if you hold down the button, something else will happen. It'll either bring up the menu or do something. So that was kind of a nice little thing to do. They've allowed you now to do USB export for your videos, so you can record a 15-minute video and export it, which is really nice. You can change the default video length that you wanna save. So if you don't like having 15 minutes every time that you save a video clip, you can have it set down to 5 or 3 or 1, just to make it easier for your video editing, whatever works good for your workflow when you're doing that. And the biggest thing is they now allow you to archive on Twitch. This was not announced as being part of this update. They snuck it in. I streamed about 3.5 hours of The Amazing Spider-Man 2 earlier this week. I had a pile of people watching. There's like 25 people at one point. And sure enough, I log into Twitch after I'm done my stream. I have a 3.5 hour video. I chop it up into 1 hour increments, upload it to YouTube, and boom, there it is. It's like, okay, this is what I've been waiting for. I wish it was there day one, because I'd like to have my whole knack playthrough available for me to watch over again or something. Just another great option that they enabled. Xbox has it. There's no reason why PlayStation shouldn't have had that.
Right. Well, and it's funny that they just kind of snuck it in. I wondered if it was a feature that they weren't sure was going to be ready, and so that's why they didn't talk about it. I mean, we saw some leaks here and there, but nothing confirmed it.
Yeah, that had to be what it was. They wanted to do it, but they just had so much stuff going into this update that anything that you add takes more quality QA time to make sure that it's not going to break anything else. But I'm super happy it's there. And the other thing is they enabled 720p streaming. So the initial streams I think were 480p, so now they're up to 720p. So the streams actually look really good when you're watching. Nice. They've added some other things, nothing crazy, nothing awesome. Actually, there's voice commands, so now you can save video clips through voice commands, which is really kind of nice.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's not Xbox save that, but it's like PlayStation start a video clip or something totally cumbersome. I can't even remember what the actual thing is, but it's there if you want to use that. And they've allowed you to dim the light bar on your DualShock. So if it's way too big, way too bright, and you get a big glare on your television while you're playing games, you can have it turned down. There's 3 levels of brightness. So I have mine set to dim now, which makes a heck of a lot less glare on my TV when I'm playing games.
Yeah, it's funny too though, because it's a 3-mode selector, so it's like bright, normal, and dim.
Yeah.
So there must be requirements for the way the PlayStation Eye, or I guess the camera, sees it, and to not be able to do like percentages.
I guess so. I wish there was an option just to turn it off to save battery life, like as little battery life as it would probably save. I'd love to not have that light on, except if I need it for a game that is using the PlayStation Eye to see who's player 1, who's player 2 type thing. But maybe that'll be coming down the road with some other updates.
Yeah, that's one complaint I do have about the PlayStation is the battery life isn't nearly as good as my one
Oh,
controller.
it's terrible. It's like 4 hours.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's like the Wii U gamepad. It's about the same battery life as that.
Except that has this huge LCD screen on it.
Exactly, exactly. It's ridiculous. One other thing that they updated as well is they made the PlayStation 4 remote play better and more robust between the Vita and the PlayStation 4. So now, if your PlayStation is on and your Vita is on, you can pretty much make a remote play connection regardless of the type of router that you're using. I have an Apple Airport Extreme, so trying to do remote play from outside of my home network is impossible. It doesn't have UPnP, so there's no way for, even with opening ports, it was just impossible to get that to work. I tried it on the morning. I kept my PlayStation 4 on, went to work, took my Vita out on my coffee break, tried to make a connection. Didn't work. I'm like, what the hell? Why is this still not working? I decided to tether my Vita to my iPhone, and next thing you know, boom, it's working. So there's still some weird router issues that I'd have to deal with, but it seems to be a lot more robust than it was before, which is really nice. So if you ever had problems doing it, you might want to try it again. The one caveat is you basically have to have your PlayStation 4 on if you want to use that new functionality, because it basically, I guess it talks through the PlayStation Network and figures out the IPs of all the machines, opens up tunnels from one to the other, whatever. If it's off, I still had the same problem. I wasn't able to start it up. So there's still some remote issues for me, but hopefully that'll be cleaned up as the time goes on.
Huge update.
Yeah, it's really good. It's almost like a new system. Like it feels a little bit snappier, especially when you go to the PlayStation Store. It seems a little bit snappier, and the PlayStation 4 menu was already pretty snappy compared to the PlayStation 3. So I'm really quite impressed, and I kind of like the update so far.
Nice.
Cool. What do you say we move on? Unless there's anything else you have to add about 1.7.
No, unfortunately, I haven't got my hands on it too much, so I'm excited to get in there and play with some of the things. I turned on my PlayStation last night for the first time, and that was just to play Child of Light, and it took a little while to download. It was like a 900 meg download for Share Factory, so I didn't even get a chance to play that.
Yeah, Share Factory was really huge. The update itself was only about 200 meg, I think, something like that. But
that was quick.
Share Factory was definitely a lot bigger. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, let's move on. There was another big announcement on the 30th, and that was Marvel and Disney getting together, or I guess Disney, because Marvel is Disney, getting together and unveiling some of the first new features of Disney Infinity 2.0, which they call, what was it called? Disney Infinity Marvel Superheroes, right? Mm-hmm. Which is still confusing, because is that the name, or is that kind of like the sub name of the set that you're playing in? They're still being kind of stupid about the names, but what are you going to do?
Right, I agree.
So Will, you're the Disney Infinity guy. You do Inside Disney Infinity podcast. You probably talked for about 17 hours this week about the game. So do you want to talk a little bit more, or do you want to just go to another room and go like get a tea or something while I do this?
As long as I have my hot tea to kind of calm my voice, sure. Yeah, so I mean the cliff notes are, and we actually watched the event together, which is pretty cool. We had some folks in the chat room chatting away as we watched it, which was pretty neat. But although it was a good event, it was about an hour long, and they gave us a lot of new information. I walked away from it feeling pretty content and happy with all the information that they gave us. But like you just alluded to, there's still some unknowns, and I'm sure that's going to be the case. But the branding thing is one I think they really got to nail down and let us know about real quick, because they did come out and say there's going to be more Disney stuff and Infinity 2.0, just not ready to talk about it. So it would have been nice if they said Disney Marvel Superheroes is like a series in Disney 2.0. And there's going to be other series as well that we're not going to talk about yet, but because this is all Marvel. And it was a very Marvel focused event. They had one of the head writers for Marvel. They had the president of Marvel. They had Agent Coulson actually live at the event.
Yeah, what's his name? Perry Clark, right?
Clark Gregg.
Clark Gregg, that's right.
Yeah.
2 first names. It's weird. It's like, is his name Clark? Is it Greg? What is it? But he was out there and he was in character for some of it and then not in character for other bits of it. That was kind of cool. I like Clark Gregg. He's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I dig the show he's on and him in the movies.
Yep.
So yeah, they talked a lot about the game and a lot of my complaints, it seems like they're fixing. So characters, and actually, Lloyd, you and I, we've talked quite a bit about this. They're fixing character progression. So they're going to have skill trees.
Yeah, that was the huge thing for me. I was like, oh my God, they're doing it. This is the best. This is the best thing. In the first Disney Infinity, which I played a lot with my kids, you had character levels from 1 to 15. And that's all it was. It was character levels from 1 to 15. There was really nothing that it got you. If you got to level 10, you got a gold statue in the Hall of Heroes, and that was it. In this game, every time you level up, you can basically follow through the paths on a skill tree. So if you're if you're Iron Man, you can make your armor faster, your armor do more damage just by allocating your experience points on your skill tree, and there's going to be ways to respec all that as well. That alone just makes Disney Infinity kind of more of a game than it was the last time.
Right.
Despite all the other awesome stuff that they announced, I was quite excited about that. I play. If you listen to this podcast, you know I play a lot of Disney Infinity with the kids. I play a lot of Skylanders with the kids. Those what did they call it? Toys to Life. The toys to life genre. I play a lot of those types of games with my kids. They love the Toys to Life, even though they are not allowed to play with the toys as toys. They sit on a shelf.
Smart.
Because I don't want to rebuy figures that I've already bought. But they love that. Like on a Saturday, it's not abnormal for them to want to play 3 hours of battle mode in Skylanders or run through Disney Infinity and just shoot each other with the shrink ray and the expand ray. The fact that there's going to be more gaminess to the game makes me very happy, because now I'm looking at the new Skylanders, I'm looking at the new Disney Infinity. I love Marvel. I'm a huge Marvel guy from when I was a kid. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. Seeing Spider-Man in that trailer just made me like scream out like in glee, very high pitched, made people look. This may be the only game that I want to buy this coming generation. I don't have to buy 700 new Skylanders toys to collect the set, because I have a horrible collecting problem. And I'll be able to play this game, which is more RPG-ish than it's ever been. It has some great Marvel characters, which I love, which I grew up with. This seems to be kind of like the winner, which is a really good thing.
That, and they announced quite a few improvements to the toy box, which is a huge draw. That's the creative mode. And all that stuff is really great, but it's kind of too technical to give in a brief like this. But what another good thing for someone like you or any fan of the original game is that almost everything is going to be forwards compatible. So all of your figures that you have ranked up to level 15, you're going to now be able to take them to 20, and they're actually going to have new skills to unlock, even though they're not new characters. They're from the previous generation game. Mm-hmm. The power disc, your toy box that you create in the first one, those are going to be forward compatible. And I think the biggest kind of, well, outside the characters, the other huge piece of that is all of the bases are going to be forward compatible. Yeah. Even the 360, which I was skeptical about until today. I saw that Disney Infinity responded to someone's tweet asking that, and even the 360 one's going to be forward compatible. So unlike Skylanders, you're not going to have to buy a new base if you don't want to.
Yeah, exactly. Which is a big thing. So yeah, at the event they only showed off what was it? 9 new figures? Was it 9? It was Hulk, Iron Man, Captain America,
Black Widow,
Deadeye, no, Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
Deadeye. What the hell's Deadeye? Hawkeye, Black Widow. Who
Hulk.
else? Hulk, yeah.
I have the list.
They showed off basically just the Avengers. But in the trailer, they showed some other figures. Like there was Spider-Man, there was some bad guys, there was Loki and MODOK. There was some other people as well. They had
Director Fury.
Fury. They had Rocket Raccoon and the tree dude whose name I'm blanking on right now that I'm trying to think of.
It's like Groot or something.
Yeah, Groot.
It's something.
Yeah,
Groot.
It's Groot, exactly. So you know that there's going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy set that's coming out. They could come out with 17 play sets for Marvel, all with different figures, and I would buy them. I'm that much of a Marvel fan, so I'm really, really excited for this. We'll know more at E3. They're going to be showing off some more stuff. They hid some Disney figures in the trailer as well. They had Merida, they had Stitch, and they had Maleficent hidden in the video. So this isn't just Marvel Infinity. There's going to be some Disney stuff in it as well. This seems to be something that's going to be a hit. The fun part of Disney Infinity was the toy box, being able to build your own worlds. They've made it so much better. You can basically paint an area with trees and other stuff. You can I lost Will, so we'll get Will back on the line. You can do other things like that. You can paint buildings. You can set buildings up. And make them bigger just by painting on new floors. So a lot of the tedium of creating a level in Disney Infinity has kind of gone away as well, which is a really, really, really good thing. So I'm really excited for that. I know Will is as well. If he comes back from his internet loss, we're going to keep calling him back to see if we can't get him. It looks like this is going to be a winner for Disney, and we're here excited about that here on the show as well. All right, cool. Well, let's move on. Let's get into our next big news story, and this one is kind of interesting. Twin Galaxies. If you're not familiar with them, Twin Galaxies is an organization that validates high scores for video games. So if you're trying to get a high score in Donkey Kong, like all the fine folks on the King of Kong documentary, you would send a tape to Twin Galaxies, or you would basically have them come out and watch you play so they can validate whatever your high score is. This week they announced that Twin Galaxies will be creating a new entity called...
The person whom you're trying to reach is currently unavailable.
Will has voicemail turned on his Skype, apparently. So that's a little annoying. There is a... Oh, I'm going to turn that off. There we are. There is going to be a 24/7 gaming news Twitch channel. So if you're interested in seeing people getting high scores, people playing games, some new game news comes out, they're going to be broadcasting 24/7 on Twitch, which to me is awesome, and it totally makes sense. Like I mean Twin Galaxies is one option. It would be great for something else like say G4 to come out again, but have it something more than what G4 was, which was 3 shows of video games and then a whole bunch of like male interest type of shows, the Man Show and other stuff that was on there, all the crazy stuff. With what we have now with Twitch, the ability to broadcast like we do when we do our podcasts, it totally makes sense that that this would be set up. Twin Galaxies also announced that they're going to be using the new Skype TX technology. So Skype this week or last week, I believe, announced that that they're coming out with a set-top, or not a set-top box, a rack-mountable box that would allow you to run basically Skype in very high resolution on your own network, and then have people call into it. So that is pretty exciting as well. So not only is it going to be 24/7, it's going to be high quality as well. Will, I think we have you back.
Yes, I'm back.
Awesome. So,
sorry about that.
No problem. No problem. So I was just talking about Twin Galaxies and how awesome it is for the 24/7 gaming Twitch channel, and also the fact that this would be something. It would be great to see other channels like, say, G4 come back and do similar things like that as well. Obviously not G4, but something like G4 to do 24/7 streaming.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Cool. Are you a fan of Twin Galaxies? Do you like watching the guys in referee uniforms watch people play Donkey Kong? Is that your kind of thing?
I enjoyed the King of Kong and kind of their spiel on that, but I don't know. We've had lots of conversations about how we're just video game dudes, and I used to love G4, and I love kind of any content I can find that's video game related. I think this is going to be interesting though, because Twitch streaming, it's a thing, and you can go on, and Twitch streaming is kind of like on-demand video game entertainment. And so this 24/7 almost video game network, depending on the content on there, I think will kind of depend on how successful they're going to be with this. But I think it's a great and interesting idea.
It totally makes sense that, I mean, why not? Why wouldn't you do something like that? It's totally makes sense. So good on them for trying it. Hopefully it takes off, and I'll be watching it a little bit, just see what it's all about. I don't think I'll have it on 24/7 because I need to sleep. But I might check it out periodically throughout the day to see what they're broadcasting.
Come on now, wouldn't that be cares like good night? Nursery rhyme with some Twin Galaxy action.
Yeah, that would be good. We'll get
just leave it on the TV all night.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Just imagine the fun that would be had with that on 24/7. Cool. All right. Well, let's move on. This was the week of Destiny. The Destiny embargo lift. There was all sorts of preview videos, articles, all sorts of things that came out. There was a pre-order bonus, so if you pre-ordered Destiny at various retailers, you could get a beta code, which isn't active yet, but I'm sure at one point will be active. Just a whole bunch of Destiny stuff. Will, you were basically, I don't know, reading. You're absorbing every little bit of info that you could possibly do. What do you think about Destiny now? That the news kind of dropped a little bit.
You know, my opinions haven't changed at all because of it. I'm still excited for this game, but that excitement has always been a little apprehensive. I love Bungie. They're one of my all-time favorite developers, but it looks like Halo. And although I also love Halo, I'm really hoping it's different, and I know it's going to be, but from what we've seen, it looks like the same type of gunplay as Halo, and they're being really coy about all of the things that are making this experience unique outside of character progression. But let's be honest, there's been RPG elements in lots of first-person shooter games over the last 5 to 10 years. So
yeah, Call of Duty Modern Warfare kind of really started that as kind of the next big thing. So yeah, it totally makes sense. I watched a lot of the videos as well. I'm a huge Halo fan from way back in the day. I just loved the feel of that first person shooter. And then when you look at what they kind of did, where they took Halo, and then they grafted on Borderlands loot system. They added on World of Warcraft questing. They then took kind of an experience and level up mechanic and added that to the loot system from Borderlands. And it's just like, okay, this could possibly be the best game that has ever been made, as far as all my likes being basically thrown into a pot and stirred up into a wonderful stew. I watched the video. I am really excited. I can't wait to get in and start playing the beta. I'm really excited. I just wish they would have shown more than the same level.
Yeah, well, and I think that's it. What you just described to me is, oh man, that sounds so cool. It checks all my boxes too. But the problem is they keep telling us about that and keep showing us the same things and those things we've seen a million times.
Although they did change it this time. So the level that they showed at E3 was just a plain boring gray brown level. Now it's a plain boring gray brown level with Russian on it because apparently it's in old Soviet Russia.
Right.
So it is a little different, Will. I'll give them that.
Sorry.
But
You're
it's not that different at all.
I don't know. This and Watch Dogs were that and Titanfall, but Titanfall's come and gone.
Mm-hmm.
These two games are the games I'm most excited about this year. So I'm stoked. I can't wait. The beta is going to come out sometime this summer. You and me, we're going to be playing on the PlayStation 4 together, and that I'm sure will solidify some other thoughts about the game.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I just like you, Watch Dogs end of this month is going to be awesome. Destiny is going to be great near the end of this year, but we'll see. I hope that there's a lot more news, and I don't know, maybe some more levels shown, something, please, about Destiny, so that it's not just running around the same fields and jumping to the same old dilapidated Russian warehouse type things.
Playing Halo co-op in Russia.
Yeah. Some of the previews were actually really kind of cool. The way that you could see a battle happening around you. Mm-hmm. You could go somewhere else, and then you're still playing single player. But as soon as you kind of engage that big boss thing, you get sucked into the multiplayer with other people. Something like that really kind of makes me happy, because for the most part these days I don't have a lot of gaming time. So to jump in and really get invested in an online game, it's tough for me. I have to kind of budget my time between all the different games that I want to play, and trying to be the best at a first-person shooter takes a lot of time and a lot of practice. And I don't have that time anymore. So if I could spend 95% of my time playing single player, and then the other 5% getting into multiplayer stuff, I mean, that is great news, and kind of excites me as far as that is concerned.
Yeah. Well, and it kind of does seem like they're taking the MMO formula, which is very time intensive, and making it for the kind of the first person shooter fan, or the fan that doesn't have weeks or nights of their weeks that they can schedule for raiding, and it sounds like they're making it really approachable. And exactly what you said. If you want to play single player and there's something cool over there, I'm here anyway, let's go check it out. But you're not being forced to participate in those communal events, I guess. Yeah,
exactly. So we're still excited for Destiny. We'll continue to be excited until the point comes when we're not, I guess.
Amen.
Is what it is. Awesome. All right. So let's move on. This is something that we could talk about tonight, but by the time that you hear this episode, it won't be there anymore. But just wanted to kind of chat a little bit about this, and hope that it's maybe something that we can expect most weekends. And that is the PlayStation Network is doing another flash sale this weekend. So they had one a couple of weeks ago where there was 99-cent apps. Last weekend, Tokyo Jungle was one of the ones that I picked up. There was a lot of really great games for 99 cents. They're having another sale right now. What was it? The Golden?
Gold Week, or Golden Week.
I'm trying to find the link right now. There it is, the Golden Week sale. That one goes to, I believe, the 6th of May, but I might be wrong there. And that allowed you to buy games like Chrono Cross and Chrono Trigger for, those are like the PlayStation games. You can buy them for $3.49 each. I picked up Persona 4 Golden for the Vita for $14, which is a ridiculously cheap price. Just a whole bunch of really great Japanese games were on sale. Hot Shots Golf, Metal Gear Rising, Devil May Cry HD collection, a whole bunch of really great Japanese developed games were available for really, really cheap. So that was a great sale that was happening over this week. There was the May the 4th sale, so you could buy a bunch of Star Wars games. That's still going on right now. So you can get the Force Unleashed 2 for $10. You can get the Force Unleashed for the PlayStation Portable for $5. So there's all these sales on the PlayStation Network constantly. And then today they drop another one. It's just a flash sale. It's over at the end of this weekend, but it has a whole bunch of awesome games on for $5 each. So there's a GTA 4, Red Dead Redemption, Max Payne 3, Bioshock 2, LA Noire, Darksiders, Fat Princess, Duke Nukem Forever, Mortal Kombat, Spec Ops: The Line, Red Faction's Armageddon, Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light, Kane and Lynch 2, Dog Days, a whole bunch of other ones, which Guacamelee, a whole bunch of other ones as well. There's 23 games that are on for $5 a pop, and this seems to be like you're saying, Will. This is kind of a weekly event. So has PlayStation Network basically taken a cue from Steam and decided to throw these sales out with no warning? Like this just showed up on the store, and it's like, how come people are talking about Red Dead Redemption and Duke Nukem Forever all of a sudden? And then you jump in and it's like, oh, because it's $5. That's why they're talking about it. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and it kind of makes you wonder if like, we spend most of our, not most, but a lot of our time on these next-gen consoles because we have them. But I'm really tempted to pick up some of these games now just for the hope that maybe I'll be able to add them to my library and play them on PS Now if that's how that whole thing works. So
yeah,
I'm thinking about grabbing some of these that I either already have on the 360 and my 360 is not working. So like LA Noire, I really dug that game. I'm thinking about maybe grabbing it just for the fact that I might be able to play it now on the PS3 or in the future on the PS4.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I own a stack of these games already through PlayStation Plus, through buying them digitally. But I look at this list and there's a couple games which I wouldn't pay full price for. But they're $5 and I kind of want to play them. Like Duke Nukem Forever is one of them. It's a horrible game. Everybody that's played it said it should never existed. It's a terrible, terrible game. But I want to play it. It's just like sometimes you want to watch a B movie that you know is terrible. I actually picked up a copy of Duke Nukem Forever for my 360, and I still haven't even popped it in. And I haven't cracked the cellophane because I don't play my 360 anymore because it's has a CD problem and it sounds like a small Cessna taking off in my game room. So I'm really close to just hitting the buy button to buy Duke Nukem Forever for $5 because it's $5. It's a latte from Starbucks or a game that is horrible, but you still kind of want to play anyway.
Well, that game in particular, though, is kind of like it's kind of like a gaming urban legend. I mean, it was on the chopping block more times than you could count. Never knew if it was actually going to be released, if it even still existed, and then it eventually, finally, like 12 years later, came out.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it took forever for them to develop.
It did take forever. But yeah, I now that I think of what you said, Will, the whole PlayStation Now stuff kind of makes me sort of excited. It's like, oh yeah, maybe I could play these games on PlayStation Now. But yeah, Trade Too Fast in the chat room saying, if you're watching the video, you see it. If not, he's saying that he's trying to only buy games that he's going to play now, not buy games in the hope that he would play them in the future. And that's my problem. It's only $5. I'll play it at some time. Like all the games that I bought on the Vita for the Golden Week sale. It's like, yeah, it's there. I'll play it at some point. Whatever that some point is, I'm not sure, because they don't stop making games. More games come out that you want to play. But yeah, I kind of maybe have to take a bite just to pick up Duke Nukem Forever for $5, just to laugh at how terrible it is, and then never play it again.
Well, I think the important piece of that you just missed is that Trey Too Fast coined a new phrase, and he said, "Don't pull a Lloyd." So I think that's what we're going to call that from now on.
He said, "Don't pull a Lloyd." I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, it's there. It said, "Don't do it, Lloyd." Oh, don't do it, Lloyd. Well, close enough.
It's not quite don't pull Lloyd. I'm not that bad where I'm talked about in the internets. But yeah, I do have a huge backlog as it is right now. But yeah, Max Payne 3 might be another one I want to pick up. I remember on the bonus stage, Jeff said it was horrible. And usually I like some of the games that he doesn't like, so maybe that'll be a game I want to check out as well. But yeah, it's crazy. As Trey DeFast the chat room says, they'll be now he says don't pull a Lloyd. They'll be free. They'll be free later on Plus, which is true. Every time that I buy a cheap game, it comes out for free on PlayStation Plus. So, but yeah, these sales are great, and I really hope Sony keeps it up because I don't know, it just makes it exciting to load up the PlayStation Store on a Friday and see what crazy deals that you can have, because there's been a lot of them recently. Yep.
And yeah, as long as they keep doing it, it's awesome. And it's still, I think, although Sony's been doing it for a while, they did it for a while with PS3 doing sales like this. If it becomes this consistent, it's that's one more kind of thing that eventually Microsoft would have to respond with, and so us as gamers, it's just good. Period.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. All right. Yeah, we have one more story. Will, you dropped in the notes about PlayStation Now, since we're already talking about it.
Yeah, so I guess just today, actually, some more closed beta invites were being sent out randomly to folks that had signed up for that, with some new games like they had a couple PlayStation 4 PSN games like Contrast, and there was another one as well. But yeah, still in beta, but this is, I just want to mention it because we haven't talked about it in a while, and supposedly it's still launching in the summer, which we're really close to the summer. Not to say it's gonna come out at the beginning, but I know this is something you and I are really excited about, and if you are a PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4 owner, this is something to really get excited about. So
exactly. Yeah, I'm super excited about PlayStation Now, even though it's going to launch in the States and probably take 5 years before it comes to Canada. But I like it, and I kind of really hope that at some point it will make it out here, and then I can start streaming my stuff. Yeah. That's good. Cool. All right. Well, let's move into the rest of the show. We've been yammering on for about an hour now. Let's talk about the games we've been playing. So, Will, what you been playing?
Well, my list is short. I did finish. I talked a little bit about A Burial at Sea, BioShock Infinite last week, and I finished both the first episode and the second episode.
Did you stream it? I know Justin was asking for that.
No, I was planning on it. I couldn't get my streaming software working, unfortunately, so I didn't get any of that on the internet. But I wish I did, because this game, this is one of my favorite series, and it's literally, Lloyd, I went online Monday because I beat the game on Sunday, or I beat the episode 2 on Sunday. I went online on Monday, and I found a YouTube video, and it was the entire soundtrack from both Infinite episode 1 and episode 2, but it was like real game soundtrack, so I think someone went in there and recorded the audio from the game,
right?
And it's like a 6.5 hour video. But I kid you not, every day at week this week, I have listened to that soundtrack just because I just love the world, and there's still, I don't think, a game, in my opinion, that has ever immersed me as much as the original BioShock did, and that's why I love these games so much, and that's why I loved episode 1 and 2 so much, because it's kind of like a love letter to the original BioShock, and it was. I also kind of see it as a swan song for those that left. What's the developer? When Levine left.
Oh, Irrational.
Irrational, yeah. So this was kind of the last thing they did before they left. Yeah. And it was so well done. Episode 2 is a brand new gameplay mechanic for the series. It's a lot of stealth, which, you know me, I hate stealth, but it is done in a way where it's really effective, and you're playing as spoiler alert, I'm not going to say it, but you're playing as a non-traditional character, and it really makes sense for that character to be a stealth character. And so, yeah, it's awesome. If you're at all a BioShock fan, I know you said you played Infinite, but I don't know if you played the other episodes.
I started the first one, but I didn't finish it. I got to get back in and do that.
It's definitely a must. It's weird though. The first episode was about 2.5 hours. The second one took about 6 hours to beat. So,
oh wow,
there's a lot of content there. I think I bought the season pass for $20, so I got quite a bit of gameplay for that. So yeah, that was cool. And then the only other thing I've had a chance to play this week is just the Child of Light demo, but it was awesome enough, and I'd read enough and talked to you enough that I'm picking it up right after the show.
Awesome.
So, what about you? What's been on your gaming list the week?
Cool. Yeah, a fair bit. Octodad, Dadliest Catch. I finally beat that on the PlayStation 4. I did a bit of a live stream on that. Played through the last couple chapters and replayed some of the other ones, doing some trophy hunting, and that was a lot of fun for the people that showed up. So that was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed the game. As ridiculous and hard to control as it is, it's just so great. So if you haven't checked it out yet and you like stupid games, this is the stupidest in a very, very good way.
Well, that's where the fun comes in, right? Is that difficult and controls? Isn't that what it's all about?
I mean, it's not difficult. It's like, okay, they tell you what to do. It's like, you need to go get this thing, and you can see the thing, but getting there and actually able to like to grab it, like you put your hand out and it's almost there, and then you go and you grab a chair and then smack someone in the head with it, and it's just like, what? I didn't want to do that. Like, it's just so much fun. It's awesome. It's ridiculous. What else? Child of Light. I as I said earlier, I was really kind of worried that the game wouldn't be what I liked, because of the reviews that came out. I downloaded the demo, played the first 5 minutes of the demo, said, yep, this is my game. Picked it up, and I've been playing it. I'm just finishing chapter 4. I'm not sure how many chapters there are, so I'm not too far in the game, but still having a lot of fun. It is so beautiful. It's really interesting because all the writing is in rhyme, so it's like an old like Shakespeare play type thing. It's not that crazy in the word usage, at least, but right. It's everything is kind of like iambic pentameter. It's interesting, and then you meet a character who can't rhyme, and it's kind of funny because your character gets really, really pissed off that this person isn't rhyming. It's like, I got to go to the mall because I have stuff to do, and I hope I don't trip. And then they was like, you mean fall? Right. and just these little like cute little touches they put into it. It's so much fun. I've been, like I said, a couple hours in, and I'm just enjoying it. That's one of the games that I'm looking forward to picking up and playing more of this weekend, because it is really that great.
And it's so gorgeous. Like I told you before, I'm going to buy it on the One because I have a gift card, but I almost want to buy it on the 4 just so I can share screenshots because it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks really, really nice. It is a great looking game. So if you're into RPGs, this is it's very Final Fantasy like, where there's kind of an active time battle bar on the bottom of the screen. If you get damaged before you can attack, and you're in the kind of attack zone, you lose the ability to take your move. So you have to plan guards and other stuff. You have to kind of figure out the elements. It's kind of a rock, paper, scissors type thing. There's light, there's dark, there's water, there's fire. So you have to kind of balance all these things. And it's really fun. I'm really, really digging it. So I'm going to get more into it. Hopefully I'll have a chance to beat it by the time that we record the next show, and I can maybe do a little mini review of it. But it's pretty. It's an RPG. It's not like anything else I've ever played before. You play a little girl. It rhymes. It's just like it's in this watercolor world that's set in like the 1500 type thing, but within a world with magic. Like it's all this weird stuff, but it just kind of works, and I'm really kind of enjoying it. So Child of Light, really interesting pickup. Go play the demo if you haven't already. I also snagged a copy of Amazing Spider-Man 2, even though I knew the game was going to be horrible. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, so I streamed this for about 3.5 hours. I had about 25 people watching me saying this game sucks, and I'm like, yep, it does. I've said it repeatedly. The game is not that good. The load times are good, are horrible. I mean, the character models look like it's something from early on in the PlayStation 3's life. It's not that good, and they're like, well, do you like it? And I'm like, yeah, it's great. I love it. It's just I'm such a Spider-Man fan that I can look beyond the crap, and cool. I can brush it off and polish it up a little bit, and had a little bit of fun. So I'm probably gonna stream a little bit more of it. The main campaign is pretty short. I think it's around 7 hours. So it's not a crazy huge game if you're just trying to beat the main mission, but there's a whole bunch of unlockables and trophies to get. So that's been a lot of fun, although it is a bad game. So don't spend $60 on it unless you're a big Spider-Man fanboy. Then maybe, or wait for a sale.
How's that new swinging mechanic? Because that's one thing that seems pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. So your swing mechanic isn't just hit a button and swing from like clouds. You actually your web has to connect to a building, and it has to connect to the side that you're swinging on. So if you want to shoot a web out of your left arm, you have to hit the left L2 trigger. If you want to do it on your right arm, you have to hit the R2 trigger. If you shoot out of your left arm and you swing and you hit a building, well, that's your own fault. Like it doesn't do anything for you. You have to kind of figure out momentum and how to swing around a city. It sounds clunky and cumbersome, and if you watch the first little bit of the video, I'm smacking into buildings left, right, and center and getting really frustrated. But you catch on really quick, and you have a little bit of fun with it. You can unlock different moves like slingshot moves and stuff as well as you move throughout the game. But yeah, it's fun. As terrible as it is, it's still a lot of fun, and I've been enjoying the hell out of it.
Nice.
And then last but not least, I picked this up today, Mario Golf World Tour. It came out today along with the Kirby game. I did not buy the Kirby game, mainly because I know it's going to be short and I wanted a little bit of a meatier title. So I've been jumping into Mario Golf World Tour. As Prometheus in chat room says, it's $30 or $35 if you're up here in Canada, because of our stupid Canadian dollar is a little bit lower than it was for a while. So things have gone back to being a little bit more expensive. This game also has a season pass, so it ships with, I believe it ships with 6 courses, and then there's 6 more that are going to be unlockable through DLC. You can buy the season pass for $15, $16.50 in Canada, or each of the 3 DLC packs for $6, $6.50 in Canada. Separately, there's going to be there's one released now. There's going to be another one in June and another one in July. Each of the DLC packs unlocks 2 courses and a character. And if you buy the season pass, you get Gold Mario as an unlockable character immediately. Otherwise, he'll be unlocked for everybody when the final DLC pack comes out. He's kind of cool, where he can't use normal items in the thing, but whenever you take a shot and your ball is streaming through the air, you're getting coins like every meter or every foot that your ball flies. So if you want to buy the items, he's a good character to use to kind of grind out the coins that you need.
So I have no concept of this game, really. Mm-hmm. It looks fun, but you obviously have probably a little more experience with this game or other Mario Golf games.
Sure, yeah. It's developed by Camelot, who made kind of all those golf games way back in the day. So it's true to form to what Mario Golf was. It's very Hot Shots Golf-like.
Well, what's the value of the game? For $30 is 6 courses, a lot, and then
yep.
DLC
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. There's you can play through the game as the characters in the game, play through the main mission mode, go through all the tournaments, place high, unlock items, customize your character. There's a full online play system, so you can play with random people, you can play with friends. There's I believe there's a tournament system, so you can set your own tournaments up. So we can create, say, a VG podcast tournament, and people can join it, and whoever ranks up and whoever gets the lowest score obviously comes out on top, and then that's shown for the world to see type thing. And then there's another mode where you play through the game as you're me, unlocking things and doing stuff that way. There's crazy courses with items and hazards. So there's like a course that takes place underwater. There's the standard golf, like Hot Shots golf mode, and then there's a bunch of other stuff that's on top of it. So there's, I think the main campaign, I think you can get through in a couple hours, because you're just playing through the courses. But there's so much other stuff that you can unlock and play through. It's really is a lot of fun if you like arcadey golf games.
Right.
If you don't, if you're a Tiger Woods guy or a Lynx or whatever the golf games of the day are now, I can't remember. That was way back when I was a PC gamer. If you're that kind of gamer, for golf, obviously this isn't your title. You don't want to get a tornado thing that knocks other balls out of the way and collects coins as you fly through. That just doesn't make sense. But when you're playing a game like this, it just all kind of fits in, and it's fun.
Cool.
And that's about it. I've been playing some other stuff on my Vita and stuff like that, but nothing of note. I haven't done any of my Lego challenge, so I haven't gotten any further in my platinuming all my Lego games. I got to get on that, Will.
Yeah, you do.
So I gotta do that. But yeah, getting some good gameplay, and it's a lot of fun. I have Kara, my wife, and my daughter are going to sleep over at a friend's house. So it's going to be me and Nick tomorrow. So we're going to be doing like 12 hours of gaming. Plus it's free comic book day tomorrow as well. So we're going to get a bunch of comics. We're going to go eat out. We're going to just going to hang out and play games. It's going to be awesome. So
that sounds like a fun day.
Yeah, maybe play some more Amazing Spider-Man, because he digs that one as well.
Nice.
But that's about it, man. Yeah. That's about it. I think that's about it for the show, unless you have anything else to end off with before we close her up.
No, I think that pretty much sums it up. All
right. So thanks everybody for coming out and joining us while we did the show. Thanks everybody that subscribes to the show. We love it. If you love it, tell 2 friends, get them to subscribe, and show them the awesome that is the DeREZD podcast. Let us know what you think. VGpodcast@gmail.com or 505 VG Podcasts. But yeah, that's going to about do it for this episode. I'm going to go get some gaming in before bed, and maybe play some Child of Light, because that game is awesome.
Nice.
All right, everybody, take it easy, and we'll talk to you in about a week's time.